Welcome to the series of everything you need to know about Python in simplest possible way. In our previous videos, while discussing strings, we have seen so many methods in order to manipulate strings, right? So as part of that, in this video, we will see some of the methods in order to align the strings. So what does that mean? Let us go ahead and see with some examples and some methods that we have in order to align the string. So the first method that we have, which is center. So let's say if you want to align your string exactly at the center, in such case we will be using this particular center method. So let us understand through the example. Let's say I am having this string, let's say like here. I wanted to align this particular like exactly at the center. At the center means, let's say you are preparing a Word document. In that Word document, you wanted to mention this particular like exactly at the center, and before and after that you will be having spaces or some special characters you can able to mention. Apart from that, let's say you are preparing a Excel sheet. In that Excel sheet, you wanted to fill the cell exactly, and for that you might need some spaces. In that case, we can use this particular center in order to mention exactly at the center. So for that, what I will be doing is that I am having this particular like, I will be calling this particular center, and simply if I execute this, we will get some error. Center expect at least one argument, which means that we need to pass the width. We have just mentioned this particular string, right? How many positions, what is the width that you want, that we need to mention. Let's say I am mentioning 10 here, and you can see the result. In these quotes, we are having this particular string exactly at the center, and before and after that we are having these spaces you can observe here. Let's say if I give 20 here, let's say 25 here, and if I execute this, you can able to see this particular spaces are increased, and still we are getting this particular like exactly at the center. Let's say we are having four characters, right? Let's say I will give 3 only, and if I execute this, we are getting the exact string that what we have previously. So by this, what we can came to a conclusion that whenever we are using this particular center with parameter, that what we are passing the integer number, which is nothing but a width. So when we are mentioning the width more than the size of this particular string that we are passing, this particular string will be aligned exactly at the center. If we have less length of this particular width, in such case this will return exact string that what we have. If I simply pass this particular string without giving the width, it will raise an error. We need to pass exactly at least one argument, which is nothing but this particular width here. So now if I execute this, we are having 4 characters here. Now I am giving 5 here. So you can able to see the space is coming exactly at the beginning, and still we are getting this particular string bit right. So whenever we are having this kind of situation, we will be getting the spaces to the right side itself. So let's say apart from this particular space, we can actually pass our own characters. Let's say I wanted to have at the center with this particular star here, and I will mention 10 here, and if I execute this, you can see the result. Here we are getting this particular like exactly at the center, and before we are having these stars, and after also we are having these stars. This star is nothing but what we are passing here. Let's say if I pass this particular dollar here and execute this, we can able to see the dollars coming left and right to this particular string, and this particular string will still remains exactly at the center itself. So by this, I hope you can able to understand the behavior of this particular center. So let us go ahead and see one more method that we have, which is ljust. So we have seen the string coming exactly at the center, right? So if we wanted to get the string completely to the left side and right side, we wanted to have spaces or special characters. At that time, we can use this particular ljust. So let us understand through one example. I will take the same example, which is like here, and after this I will call this particular ljust here. So now if I directly execute this, we are getting error. That is what we have got in the above also, which requires at least one argument here. So for that reason, I will pass this particular 5, which is nothing but the width, that what we have seen in the center also. If I execute this, we are getting like, and to the right side we are getting a single space. I will give some big number, let's say I will give 20 here, and you can see the result. This particular string that what we have passed, which is like, is exactly at the left side, and to the right side we are having by default these spaces. I hope you can see these spaces. So by this, what we can understand is that whenever we call this particular ljust, whatever string that we are passing, that string will completely come to the left side, and in the right side, when we have the width more than this particular string, at that time we will get the spaces by default. And if we pass our own parameter, let's say I will pass this particular star, and if I execute this, we can able to get the parameter here, which is in the right side. So I hope you can able to understand. And if I give less number that is less than this particular string, and if I execute this, we still get the exact string that what we have previous only. So I hope you can able to understand this particular functionality and behavior of this particular ljust. This ljust will return a string. In that string, we will be getting this particular mentioned string, which is completely to the left side. And when we have more width, in such case, by default, we will get the spaces. And if we pass any character, in such case, that character will be repeating. Let's say I will pass this particular star and dollar combined together, and if I give 25 here, and if I execute this, uh, fill character must exactly one character long only, which is telling that you can only specify only one character. More than that, you cannot actually specify. And if I give only this character dollar, and we can able to see the dollar is coming to the right side, and the string that what we have is coming in the left side. So I hope you can able to understand its behavior clearly for now. So let us go ahead and see one more method that we have, which is rjust. Rjust is similar to ljust. The only difference is that this particular word that what we are passing, which completely comes to the right side, that is the opposite to the ljust. In ljust, which is the word coming to the left side, in rjust the word comes to the right side. So the same similar functionality that we have, I will take the same example, which is like here, and I will use this particular rjust. And if I give, let's say 10 here, you can able to see at the beginning we are having default spaces, and this particular word that we are passing is completely coming to the right side. So you might be thinking we are passing only one word, because of that reason we might be getting. And if I pass and subscribe here, we are having three words, which is like and subscribe, and here we are having spaces also. Let's say if I give, let's say 30 here, and if I execute this, we still able to get the spaces at the beginning, and after that we are having the words that we are passing, which is like and subscribe. So we can also pass our own character also. Here I will be passing this particular percentile symbol, and if I execute this, you can able to see this percentile symbol coming completely to the left side, and still we are getting this particular string that what we have passed coming completely to the right side. So I hope you can able to understand this particular rjust. The only difference it is having with ljust is that rjust, the string that we are passing will completely come to the right side. So that is the only difference that we are having. So let us go ahead and see one more method that we have, which is expand tabs. So in our keyboard, we have a specific key, which is a tab, right? So by using this tab, we can able to go one tab space here. You can able to see here I am having in this, my cursor is in here, right? So if I enter this particular tab, I am going some distance, right? So after that, if I give one more tab like this, we will be going with one tab space. This is considered as tab space, right? So now what we will be doing is that by using this method, we can define how many number of tab spaces that we wanted. So why this particular expand tabs came to the existence is that some system configurations have some specific tab spaces. Let's say my system configuration have tab spaces which is 4. Some other systems might have the tab spaces, let's say 3 or 2. Different systems might have different tab spaces configuration. In such case, in order to maintain the exact tab spaces. That is the reason we are having this particular expand tabs. Let us understand with some example. So for that, what I will be doing is that I will take this particular word which is like here, and I will mention this particular backslash t at the end. This backslash t is used to represent and tell that hey, it is to consider a tab space. So the program will identify this backslash t and it will be replaced with tab spaces. So now I will call this particular expand tabs here. So now if I pass directly and if I execute this, we are getting the spaces here. So when we pass a parameter here, the width, the tab spaces that we want, that will be taken. And if we pass by default like this, by without passing any parameter, at that time it will take the tab spaces which is 8. So here you can able to observe we are getting 1, 2, 3, 4. We are getting only 4. And if you consider this whole string here, we are having 4 letters of this like, and after that we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 spaces. As a whole, we are getting this particular 8 characters here. So that is what the functionality of this particular tab backslash t. And if I give a here and if I execute this, you can able to see the tab spaces, the spaces are reduced, right? So here 1, 2, 3. Previously we have got 4. Here we are getting only 3. So if I give one more letter here, let's say I will give B here, and still we are able to see the number of tab spaces are keeps reducing. So the reason is that this particular tab space will be matched with this particular word, and when we pass default without passing anything, at that time this particular backslash t will combine with this particular word, and as a whole it need to result the spaces and the number of characters which to be 8. Because of that reason we are getting all these words, and tab spaces we are getting only 2 because we are having 8 characters here. So for that reason only we are getting 2. Previously we have seen when we have till like a, in such case we are getting 3. By this we can able to understand that this tab space will depending on this particular word. When this particular word having less than 8 characters, those characters will be replaced with the spaces. And let's say I will take one more word here to understand more clearly. I will take subscribe here, and what I will be doing is that I will just simply execute this, and you can see the result we are getting like here. After that you can observe we will be getting 4 spaces here, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will mention one more tab here after this particular subscribe so that you can able to understand more clearly. If I execute this, we can able to see the spaces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are getting 6 spaces here. The reason is because after completion of this 8 characters till here, the counting will be starting from this particular S. So we will be having S 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So after that, the counting again will start from E. So from E, we need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because of that reason, we are getting 7 spaces. By this, with this particular E, we will be having 8 characters. For that reason only, we will be getting 7 spaces here. So we can, by default it will give 8 characters with spaces, and if we give some default some our own value, let's say I am giving 4 here, and if I execute this, so still you can see the result till this particular like we will be having 4 characters, right? After that we will be having 4 spaces, and after that we will be consider these 4 characters as 1 unit, and after we have CRIBE as 1 unit. After that we will be starting with this particular E, and after that we will start E 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 spaces. We are only adding these 3 spaces at the end. So let's say I will consider this expanded tab with, let's say, 12 here, let's say 10 only here, and if I execute this, and you can see the result got changed, right? So we will count the spaces. So here we are having 4 here, 4 characters. After that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 spaces and 4 characters, which resulted 10. As a whole we have 10 here. 10 characters after this particular word. So it was starting with this particular like, and we need to have 10 characters before this particular tab space. For that reason only, this tab space, this tab backslash t is generating only 6 spaces in order to make this like as a 10 characters. So after that, again it was counting for s. From s, we are starting with the s. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So this need to be completed as a single 10 character string. So for that reason, it was only adding one space here. So as a whole, we will be completing the 10 characters. That is the reason, that is the functionality of this particular expanded tabs. That is how it behaves in order to generate these spaces. So I hope you can able to understand how this expanded tab works. So if you found any difficulty, I will sincerely suggest you to watch the video about expand tabs carefully. So now let us go ahead and understand this particular zfill. So what this zfill do is that it will create the zeros at the beginning, at the left side, when we are having some string or some, whenever we are having the characters in terms of digits. So in that case, it will generate zeros at the beginning. So we will understand through example. Let's say I am having this particular 450 here. So I don't want this 450 as it is. I want the 6 digits. So in such case, in order to generate zeros at the beginning and make this as a 6-digit character, we need to use this particular zfill here. So I will call this particular zfill by 6. I am passing 6 here, and if I execute this, we can able to see we are getting 3 zeros at the beginning. After that, we are having this particular 450. So if I don't pass anything, it will give an error, which means that, which is telling this particular strZfill takes exactly one argument, 0 is given. For that reason only we are getting error. And if I pass, let's say 10 here, we can see all the apart from this particular 450, except the characters are filled with 0 at the beginning. So this is not only applied for this particular 450 or this particular integer, we can also use the characters also. I am using this particular like, and I will call this particular zfill with, let's say, 10 here, and if I execute this, you can able to see the zeros coming at the beginning with 6 zeros. As a whole, we will be completing this particular 10 digit or 10 character string with zeros. So I hope you can able to understand. This will be very useful whenever we are using some large digits, and at the beginning we need to only start with small values. Let's say I am having this particular count number. Let's say I am having our phone numbers, right? We will be having 10 digits, and in order to start with one digit, we might be starting 9 zeros, and after that we will be having only one. Let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. After that we only want this particular one. So how we can do is that we will be having this particular one. After that, we will call this particular zfill with 10 here, and if I execute this, we can able to generate 9 zeros, and after that we are having only one single digit, which is 1 here. So by this, we can effectively use this particular zfill whenever we wanted to generate zeros at the beginning. So I hope you can able to understand its usage. So we have discussed so many methods, right? So let us review one after the other. We are having this particular center in order to make our string come at the exact center. So for that reason, we will be using this particular center. Later, this particular ljust is used to justify our string completely to the left side, so that we can able to get our string at the beginning, which is at the left side. So after that, we have seen this particular rjust in order to make our string come completely to the right side. So after that, we have seen this particular expanded tabs. This particular expanded tabs count the characters, and if any character is left over, and those characters will be filled with spaces. After that, we have seen this particular zfill in order to fill the characters, in order to make the length of this particular string with zeros at the beginning. So I hope you have understood all the method that what we have discussed in this video. And if you found this video interesting, hit the like button. Like this, we have some more methods in order to manipulate strings that we will see in our next video. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.